Hey there, you found us. I'm BJ Krintzman, and this is You're Doing Good. And every episode we focus on a different nonprofit, either a person or an organization that's doing good work. And tonight I was so excited about tonight's show. I'm still excited about tonight's show. Tonight we're going to talk about West Newton Cinema. And of all the organizations, this is one that really affects me directly because I go there all the time. So Newton, we always have the experts, and tonight we have the experts with us. Right now we have Elizabeth Heilig. She is the chairman of the West Newton Cinema Foundation. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you very much.
And we also have Jesse Cerrotti, and he is the manager of the West Newton Cinema Theater.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to have you guys here.
Good to be here.
This is so exciting. So and by the way, every single friend that I told I was having you on, oh great, that's that's fantastic.
That's
Everybody wants to know what what is going on with the West Newton Cinema, because there's a lot of mystery that surrounds this. But before we get to that, tell us a little bit about yourself. So Elizabeth, tell us your background. I know you said you told me before we came on that you came to Newton about, what did we figure out, 37 years ago or 27 years ago? And tell us, and you're a scientist, so I want to hear about that and your connection to West Newton Cinema.
Absolutely. So I've been in Boston for 27 years. Now that we've counted, it's a bit of a shocker. I've been in Newton since 2016. I am a biologist by training. I was in academia for a while and then in the pharmaceutical industry, and left my last role there about 2.5 years ago now. Was looking for, basically took a self-imposed sabbatical, like many people in their mid to late 40s, was doing a little bit of career exploration, and just kind of fell into this volunteer role.
Oh, so you're a volunteer? You're a volunteer?
Yes, I am.
Oh, fantastic.
Our board is all volunteer.
Terrific. Thank you for what you're doing. That's terrific. And Jesse Cerrotti, let's hear about you. You're the manager of the movie theater.
Yeah. I joined the cinema about 1.5 years ago, but I grew up in Boston going to the West Newton Cinema. So when the opportunity arose, it was incredibly exciting. I've always loved film. The first word I ever learned actually how to spell was the word exit, because my parents would take me to the movies and I would always be pointing at the exit signs. And so that's always been a fun little thing that even to this day when I see an exit sign, I'm like, I think about the movies. But yeah, it's been a real pleasure to be part of this team as they've transitioned over into becoming a nonprofit over the past 1.5 years.
That's fabulous. And what are your duties as manager of the West Newton Cinema?
It's a little bit of everything. Running a movie theater, small or large, requires a lot of moving pieces. So the aspects of the position entail helping doing the movie selection, scheduling the films on a day-to-day basis, working with the staff to make sure the popcorn is made and the tickets are sold, as well as coordinating with the board of volunteers with all sorts of different tasks, whether it's doing community reach out, promoting different special events and programs, making sure payroll is done on time, all those different pieces to ensure that people can keep coming day in and day out.
A lot goes into it. And how about repairs, like repairs of seats? Not that I want to, not that I want to get picky, but
Sure.
this is Newton's biggest gripe, is that you go and sit down in the wrong seat, and it's, oh, whoops.
Yeah, it's at the cinema we have 6 theaters. It's probably close to 1,000 seats across all 6 screens. So we are doing our best to make sure that the seats that we have are continuing to function well and that they are cleaned on a regular basis. Part of what we'll be talking about, I'm sure, more about fundraising. One of those fundraising pieces is going to be a replacement of the chairs over the next few years. But right now we are doing everything in our power to make sure that what we have is well maintained.
Right. I wasn't trying to pick on you, just as a segue into that we have now the West Newton Cinema Foundation and what's going to happen. So tell us about, now you're the chairman.
Yes.
So
I'm the president of the board.
I'm sorry, president of the board. President of the, I think I had that
Same
right
thing.
at some point. President of the board, and it's a very impressive board, by the way. Did you assemble the board yourself?
I did not. I arrived, well, I've brought a few people onto the board who we've been lucky enough to have join us, but some of the board members have been with the foundation since it was founded.
Yeah.
Towards the end of 2022. And they started their capital campaign at, I want to say, April of 2023.
Okay.
To save the theater after it had been sold to a developer who was going to tear it down.
Right, and
Yes.
and who I noticed on the website, and we'll stream the website so people can go to it themselves. But Ty Burr, who has
Yes.
been on this show, okay, he's a great guy, and I'm friendly with his wife, and with him they're terrific. So Ty Burr is on. Chris Cooper,
Yes.
and his wife Marianne Leone Cooper,
Yes.
who she grew up in Nonantum, so she's on the board, and B.J. Novak, who grew up in Waban, I think.
Yes, these folks are on our cinema, cinema advisors.
Right, the
Yes,
advisory
which means
council.
they're- Yes.
Yeah, I know, but you get to use their names. So,
Yes.
and they'll probably come to things. And,
Yes, yeah. In fact, next week on, remind me which day it is.
The 7th of February.
The 7th of February, John Sayles is coming to read from his latest book, and we are screening.
We are screening a City of Hope,
Yes.
one of John Sayles' films.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Yes.
He's on the board, or I saw his name.
He is also one of our cinema advisors. Yes.
On the advisory board, right? Fantastic.
Yes, and he often, Chris and Marianne will join because they're very good friends with John.
Okay.
When he
yeah,
comes
so
to
they
visit,
may
yes.
be there too. Yeah, and this is part of it. And I hope we can get this across to Newton, well, to all audiences, because now we're on YouTube, so anybody, you don't have to be in Newton to get our show. But that there's a new energy at this theater. I just see it. I'm getting emails about different programmatic things you're doing, these film clubs, or different evenings that you're having. There's one tonight as we're taping this. There's the film club. You had one last night. These special programs. So there's a new energy there.
Yeah.
Is that you?
It's everybody. It's myself, it's the staff, it's the board, but also it's the community of Newton and the greater Boston area that's coming to us and saying, hey, what do you think about doing this event? Hey, do you think we should, would you be open to showing this movie? We do a lot of private rentals, so we have the opportunity, people can come to our website and, maybe asked to do a private rental, whether it's a birthday party. I'm actually talking with a couple right now about potentially hosting their wedding next year. I know.
Oh my God, it's so
I
exciting.
haven't told her that yet.
That'd be fabulous. That'd be fabulous.
So it can be private events like that, which are really exciting. Or it can be, hey, I'm a local filmmaker and would like to partner with you. Would you be open to showing this film? And then we support them by showing their movie, and they support us by bringing us a new audience.
Which would be that would be fabulous. I have a friend who did a movie. It may be up for an Academy Award, but I'm wondering if we could do a private screening of that. I'll talk to you offline about that. We'll see if we can get that going.
Talking about the movie that might be nominated for an Academy Award, we just the nominees just came out for the 2026 Oscars.
Right.
And I think we've done a very good job of selecting the films that we show at the movie theater. When they announced the 10 films nominated for Best Picture, all 10 of those films were films that we have shown at the West Newton Cinema.
Yep.
So we like to guarantee that, if you come to our cinema, there's gonna be something good playing at all times. And we're showing all the nominated shorts over the next few weeks.
Oh, I love watching those. I love the shorts.
Yeah.
I love to. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I got to. How am I going to know? Are you going to send out email blasts about those?
Yeah, we have a weekly newsletter that we send out every Friday, and then we send additional emails if there's specific large events that we want to promote.
Yeah, I used to see. I would be in California usually in like January, February, and I would see the shorts. And at the Lemel Theater. I don't know if you know the Lemel Theater. You know that guy? He runs these fabulous theaters, Santa Monica, in those areas. Anyway, so this is terrific. And I went to one event, which was it was the movie about Brian Epstein, and a band
Yeah.
did a cover of
that
the
was
Beatles
awesome.
songs, and we're sitting there, and the whole audience, which was my age echelon, needless to say, because we were we grew up on the Beatles, and we're just jumping out of our seats, to the music. It was fabulous. It was so much fun, and I love that you're doing these innovative programs.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The Studio 2 that came was the Beatles cover band.
That's who it was. Yep.
The sold out show, people dancing in their seats.
Yep.
Yeah, there's always something new.
Sold out show, absolutely. No place to park. We'll discuss that later, but that's okay. Well, let's talk about parking as long as I mentioned it. Why can't we get that? Not Sovereign Bank. What is it? What's the bank? Santander. Why can't you get their parking lot again? Are we working on that?
So the Santander Bank was purchased by Mark Development, who's a local developer, around the same time that the cinema was purchased, actually. And it is, they do have some kind of an arrangement with the city for the police.
The police are parking there.
Yes, and that has been the case for some time. Additionally now, what's wonderful is that Joanne Langione Dance School has moved into the bank building as a satellite site. So we now have kids going to dance classes and adults going to dance classes there as well. So that space is now being used again. And as a result, they're using the parking lot attached.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the dance school.
Okay.
So it's still off limits to the general public.
Right.
Still. Yeah.
Because that lot probably can hold 50 cars or however. And there are 4 police cars that are sitting there, and it's like, well.
Yeah.
My son's a city councilor. I'm going to talk to him about that. We'll
Yeah.
see what we can get on that.
I do hope now that there's fresh air has blown into city council that there's going to be a renewed focus on sorting out parking in West Newton for the benefit of everyone.
All right, and I will talk to my son about that. I will. He's a city councilor. All right, so the great upheaval happened 3 years ago at West Newton Cinema, about 3 years, 2022. 2022.
Is when the building was sold. Yes.
The building was sold, and this speaking of new blood and new fresh ideas. You guys have come in, which is fantastic, and now you've started a foundation, and this is to raise money to do what?
Yes. So we are in the middle of a capital campaign right now to restore and renovate our theater. This is actually the second part of our capital campaign. The first part was to buy the building. So beginning in 2023, we raised $5.6 million to purchase the cinema back from the developer who had bought it. And that enabled us to save the building. So we now own it. It's now a nonprofit cultural center. It's, in a sense, really owned by the community, right?
Okay.
It belongs to the community now.
It's a 501c3.
It is a 501c3.
Right.
We are, the West Newton Cinema Foundation owns the building. We're a 501c3, and the cinema is our sole initiative, and we're running it as a nonprofit theater.
Right. And this is fabulous. And it's so needed in Newton, and it's so wanted in Newton that this would be great. And I hope you do a better job. I'm not impressed with what the Coolidge Corner Theater did. I don't know how many gazillions they raised and what they did, but it's sort of still the same. I don't know. They have a lobby now where you can wait in line to get your tickets. That's the big thing. But anyway, so what are the renovations? Is there a plan already? Do you have a plan in mind?
Yes.
And you have a price tag attached to the plan?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you share both of those with us?
Yes, absolutely.
As long as you're here.
As long as I'm here, yes.
Right.
So the overall goal of the capital campaign is $23 million, which includes $4 million for an endowment, for programming, and most importantly, for facility care.
Yeah.
And $19 million for the full cost and full scope of the renovation. And we arrived at this figure by doing a comprehensive facility study with an architecture firm and a construction company. We're now using them to do initial work on the roof. This study was funded thanks to the Newton Community Preservation Committee, which provided us with a 50% matching grant, which we were able to match also with funding from Mass Cultural Council to conduct this study. And that enabled us to really come to a good understanding of what needs to be done to the building. It was built in 1937. Much of the systems, I'd say actually the majority of the systems are original. So we needed
That's older than I am. if you can possibly imagine anything being older, yeah. So what kind, I mean,
yeah.
building
Yes.
structural things, and also you talked about the
Yes.
seats and improving those. Are you reconfiguring inside?
We will be doing a minimum of reconfiguration to accommodate an elevator.
Well, you
and
have to make it
circulation addition.
handicap
Yes,
accessible.
to make it accessible.
Yeah.
But we will not be changing the footprint significantly. We currently have 6 theaters, 4 upstairs and 2 downstairs, and we will keep that number and only make changes where we need to improve accessibility in terms of the space floor plan layout.
And the restrooms aren't accessible either. I mean, you have to go downstairs to get to the, I know the ladies' room, and I think the men's room too. You have to go downstairs.
There is one handicap accessible restroom that's not down any stairs, so we do have a single stall handicap accessible
Yeah.
as well.
I was at some movie up in one of the upstairs theaters. This is just a couple of weeks ago, and there was a fellow there who couldn't walk. And it was really touching to see, his wife and a friend, and they were, just kind of, his wheelchair was waiting in the lobby, and then they were just kind of inching him along, So, and you can't make anyway. The Americans with Disability Act requires that if you're going to have major renovations to a building, you have to make it handicap accessible.
And we need it. We really need it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
And until that happens, because it is still a few $1 million out and probably a couple of years until we can really make these renovations all happen. Until that point, we are doing everything we can in our power to make it as accessible as possible.
Right.
So we actively promote on our website which theaters are ADA compliant. Sometimes not everyone's going to see that.
I've noticed it.
What we can. Yeah. We have also implemented new listening devices as well as caption readers for people with hearing or sight disabilities. And you can also, we'll occasionally have people that might call us and ask, hey, can we watch this movie on their first floor theaters? And we always try to make a swap or accommodate or make one showtime so that can be downstairs, even if it wasn't planned on being initially.
I want to talk to you about showtimes.
Yes.
Let's talk about showtimes. Why are shows clumped together? Because it seems like this makes for long lines when if you had a show at 1 and at 1:30 and at 2:30, you could separate it out. Because it seems like they're together. And I understand for the concession stands, maybe it makes more sense. But tell me about that.
Yeah, so we do try to stagger it somewhat. However, we also need to fill those. It's based off the showtimes of the movies, the length of the movies.
Right.
So I try to squeeze in as many showtimes as possible. So if a movie's 90 minutes, I can maybe get in a 4th or 5th showtime.
Right.
But when, if we decide to play Avatar, which is
18 hours.
18 hours long, exactly. I can only do 2 showtimes. I need to start at a certain time.
Right.
So there are constraints that are just by the length of the movie, by what the amount of showtimes the studios want us to play them for. And yeah, there is a certain pattern of when matinees start. We try to have a kids movie that starts when around the time schools are getting out. Try to accommodate different schedules for different people.
Jesse, when we were talking about Jesse at the beginning of the show, I don't think we talked about your background in theater management. You said when you started at West Newton, did you have a background in theater management?
Most of my background is really based in community organizing. I did study some documentary filmmaking in college at the University of Hartford, and I worked at a Cinemark movie theater for a year when I was in graduate school in northern Colorado, which I really took to that, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But before this, I really spent the majority of my career as a summer camp director, working with youth programs, helping run a JCC, as well as other community organizing I did for many years, living in New York City and all around. I've moved around too many times, but I landed back here where I grew up, and that's
all good. And Barack Obama started as a community organizer. You know, just think where he got. So that's fabulous.
Yeah,
that's great. I love your enthusiasm. So we've talked about you have a campaign. You're looking to raise $23 million. You're into it. You're in what you now told me was the quiet phase of it. Explain to Newton what that means.
Okay. The quiet phase means we are actively reaching out, and we're talking to many, many people, and we are inviting people who are philanthropic, who might be interested in making leadership gifts, the kind of gift that really moves the needle.
Okay. And leadership you're defining as
$150,000 and above. These are gifts which come with naming rights in the theater. I do want to emphasize that we have a very broad base of support in Newton. So many people go to the theater.
Yes.
When we purchased the theater, it was thanks to one very large anonymous gift, several major donors, and over 1,250 individuals who gave money. And who are continuing to support.
Right, because going to movies is not particular to a social class or to a moneyed class or to poor people. You know, it crosses all socioeconomic boundaries, so you can get. Is the work you're doing now? Are you reaching out to foundations, to corporations, to government support? I don't know what the city. You mentioned the community action grants. I don't know what if you're getting from the city. Individuals. I mean, you know, are you going to have a big fundraiser? Am I going to get to dress up?
We will. I am sure we will eventually have a big fundraiser.
Okay.
We are seeking individuals who, as I said, want to move the needle, who are interested in making transformative gifts to help our community do this, and corporations as well. In addition to the local support from the City of Newton. So I mentioned a grant that we received from Community Preservation.
I'm sorry, Community Preservation.
Community Preservation Act funds are wonderful because they enable organizations like us who are local nonprofits to do things that they otherwise would not be able to do. And you know, the cinema is a community asset. It's an anchor for our community. And so we recently received a $2 million grant of CPA funds. We're now working, so CPA grants are matching grants. So we need to come up with the other $2 million, and we're working successfully on raising those funds right now.
Right. And I think the way you're going about things is fabulous. You're reaching out to the community, not just to fundraise, but reaching out to the community for their entertainment and to have them involved in the movie theater. So these are sympathetic to each other and symbiotic. I think it's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Good. You're doing okay. All good. We have it all. We have it all solved. Okay. Tell us the renovations. When do you think you're going to start? How long do you think it's going to take? When are you planning?
Absolutely. Yes. So we have mapped this out into 4 phases. The first phase is actually already underway, thanks to the CPA funds and some generous donors. We are currently replacing the roof. That's about 80% of the way done now. As soon as that project is finished, we will not have any more leaks in the lobby, and we will be able to, major victory, and we will be able to repair the plaster and paint and do a refresh, just a small refresh of the lobby to start to make it beautiful again.
Right.
The subsequent phases include accessibility, renovations for accessibility. We have some systems upgrades for, plumbing and electrical that also need to happen before
Right.
we're able to do that. And making the theater comfortable, state of the art,
Yeah.
and beautiful in its 1930s Art Deco, elegant, streamlined, elegant way. It's really,
And give me a rough time frame of when you think your goal is to have it completely finished. By when?
Our goal is to have this done in 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
Yes.
Okay. So it feels doable. And the theater will be open during that time.
Yes, insofar as possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
There may be sometimes
There will be
there's
short periods, but
Right.
we think it's really important to keep it open.
right. So and Jesse, I just have to ask you, how do you decide what movies to run? Do you get to see them? Oh, and just the whole thing about streaming now, and people saying, post-pandemic, well, you know what, I'll wait till it's streaming, and I'll see it, and But now the streamers are charging us, if anyone's trying to save money, because even if you have Amazon Prime to watch Sinners, you have to pay however much. So
Yeah. Well, and I'll actually answer that by actually just jumping on what Elizabeth was talking about before, about like the first phase that we're in, bless you, for the renovations. A much smaller piece of that is actually upgrading a lot of the equipment, the projection equipment in the theater itself, which we've already done a lot of work on. Our first floor handicap accessible theaters right now, we're just outfitted with new 4K laser projectors, and all 6
Great.
theaters now have Dolby surround sound speakers in them.
terrific.
So people have a much better audio and visual experience than they may have if they came a few years ago, which is really exciting in part of this process. And just last month, we began serving beer and wine at the cinema as well. So people can now come in and enjoy a Chardonnay.
I'll go. That's fabulous.
Yeah. So that's been a really. So we're doing a lot of other things as well.
Wait,
while
but
the
just white
construction-
wine? Because sometimes they don't serve red wine because it stains.
We have white wine. We have red wine. We
Oh,
have,
you do? Oh,
we have
okay.
Prosecco.
We have little Prosecco bottles.
Fabulous.
Yeah. And
Such
the
good things.
selection of
All right, so just tell us, because we've only got a couple of minutes
Sorry.
left. Just no. Did you?
I want to answer your question about the movies that we choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a collaborative process. We have a programming team, and then we work with someone who's essentially our film buyer,
Okay.
who works between us and the studios to help us make sure that we get things when they get released.
Yeah, fabulous. All right, now for 501c3, do you use volunteers? People are out there watching. Do you need any volunteers?
We can always use volunteers.
And they go to the website and email you?
Email us. We have an amazing number of people who are on our advisory board. They bring professional skills from whether it's marketing or finance, or they're involved in the theater, cinema, world, or just their time, and their ability. So
All right,
absolutely.
And if you want to make a donation, go to the website and there's a button to click on, right? That says donate here. So this is so fabulous. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for coming on. This is exciting. All good things. And you know what? I think you're going to come on another year or two and tell us how you're doing. Okay? Will you come and give us an update? Okay.
In a year or two, we will still be serving popcorn with real butter.
Okay. I know, it was always rated the best in Boston, I know. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Okay, thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time on You're Doing Good.